it seemed to me, and I go through this, and I'm looking at this request, and the original request was for $1,036,000, and then we get the additional and new supporting documentation that shows that we're not going to need that much, and I just had a concern about not having that in the beginning and not having a clear understanding of why we're asking for certain amounts.
We need to borrow money for these, as it's identified, the pre-construction design services for the vacuum portion of the system. The problem I've got, not only with, as you said, Commissioner Truex, going from over $1 million down to $500,000, I'm concerned why wasn't that brought to us originally, $500,000? So I have a question on that. Why was it brought to us initially as $1 million request? I'm concerned that the starting number is obviously about $207,000 too high. The Exhibit D that's in the contract seems to be different from what's in this memo. Ms. Couture might be able to clarify it for us.
Thank you, Chairman. To address Commissioner Doherty's question, Exhibit D, the contract with Giffords-Webster, we did prepare a different column, one column called East and West Spring Lake MSBU, which were directly attributable to just the MSBU, and those costs were $574,485. And then there was another column called Cost Offsets, $207,825. And I guess maybe what we did not share with the Commissioner or make clear is that was always intended to come out of the connection fees. And in the assessment, there's actually two portions to an occupied home. There is a capital cost, and that's paying for the infrastructure that's going in the streets to connect them to the sewer system. And then there's a connection fee component. And it was always our intention that those connection fees would help pay for the master infrastructure, such as the master vacuum station, a little force main that also has to go in. Those are the master components. So the connection fee portion of the MSBU that has been assessed already on the tax bill and is scheduled to be assessed for 20 years is actually going to be paying for those cost offsets. They are to pay for capacity, and this is increasing the capacity to allow East and West Spring Lake come onto the sewer system. Excuse me.
Well, just I did not understand that, and I'm a little concerned. Again, this is supposed to be pre-construction design. That's what we're borrowing money for, according to the cover
Correct.
sheet. That would be hookups, which is construction. I can see that being possibly part of the next request to SRF for construction financing, but I don't see how it fits into the design. That's the problem I've got right now. I don't think we need to borrow the money, quite honestly. That's sort of where I'm sitting, and I am concerned about that number. Now, and again, like I said, the design portion in Giffords' contract for the vacuum system that's going to be attributed to the MSBU for design, not for hookups and so forth.
Correct, yes.
$574,000.
Correct, but they are also designing the master vacuum station, the little force main, and actually also a little reclaimed water piece, too.
Okay. All right. Well, anyways, I'm not comfortable with it. Again, I don't see the need to borrow the money at this point in time. Commissioner Truex, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You bring information to the table that I didn't have because I didn't have the opportunity or the responsibility, I guess, to read that contract. I guess I'd like to have more information about that as well.
I have a question. Ms. Couture, I'm just looking at the costs, anticipated costs. Administrative costs, mail, postage, and handling. How many mailings do you think you're going to need to do with this?
Well, we're sending out notifications to the property owners on various stages of the process, and there will be one also for, we have to pay for the mail out for the tax bill. So
you have to pay for the mail out of the tax bill?
For pieces of that, yes, ma'am.
That's a lot. That seems like an awful lot of money. $3,000? Mr. Sandrock, do you have any comments on this? Do you have any suggestions or thoughts?
No, I was just, I spent a moment with Mr. White. We've used this process for, I couldn't even tell you how many MSBU projects, but just my question to him was, you know, is there anything unusual about what we're doing here that we haven't done hundreds of times before? And we both agree that this is our normal process. Now, while you have questions and we want you to be comfortable with that, you know, we certainly will pull back and get that for you. But it's just, when I review it and think back of whether it's a paving project, a drainage project, this type of project, this is our way of going through it. So, but we will certainly get you the information you need.